what's up and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be giving a review for the film 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Now this was shot back to back with 28 Years Later, so they look very similar, and even like the storyline of this particular film is like right after the events of 28 Years Later. Now this time it's directed by Nia DaCosta, I think that's how you pronounce her name. And this time the film itself really focuses on like the character of who is played by Ray Fiennes, known as Dr. Ian Kelson, because you know he was like a person who's like dedicated to like memorializing like the victims of the epidemic, like when the rage virus happened. So we get a better look at what's going on with like his particular character, and he is really like the protagonist of this particular film, because the film really does have like a strong focus on him and like his connection to like the alpha leader known as Samson, you know, who's played by I think Chi Lewis Perry, because he has like a relationship that he kind of develops with him. And of course, you know, because I kind of predicted that, you can see that it's probably possible we're getting a glimpse that the rage virus itself can be like cured or like treated, you know, because Dr. Ian Kelson is already noticing like stuff before like Samson, you know, he could tell that it's probably possible that he can cure like people who are infected with the rage virus. So I thought that was kind of interesting and cool. Now you also still have a Spike, like a teenage boy who was in the previous film 28 Years Later. He's also in this film too as well. He's still played by Alfred Williams, and he's like on his own like personal quest for like mankind, but at the same time he is initiated into like the group known as I forget what they call it, the name, but they're like a very like they're like very like evil type group, and they're led by Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal, and he's played by Jack O'Connor, because they were in the previous film where they kind of showed up. I don't want to spoil the previous film, but they kind of showed up, I think it was towards the end of the last film, 28 Years Later. But this particular film, they play like a large role, and you can see how like evil and just like wild and like violent they are. You know, they kill people and stuff like that, and they got Spike along with them in their group. So when the film is not focusing on Dr. Ian's like relationship with trying to cure like Samson, or he believe he can cure like the rage virus and stuff like that, it is focusing on Spike being with these like group of like people, and I think they all are called Jimmy. Like all of them are called like Jimmy, and they are led by like I said, Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal, who's played by Jack O'Connor, because he's definitely like the antagonist of the film. So I guess I'd say you have like the occasional like a zombie that kind of runs through and gets like, you know, attacked or shot or beat up, you know, or like prevented, you know, from like attacking a human. But that's really about it. It really does focus on, or puts like a strong like look on the idea of like the Jimmies. Yeah, they call it the Jimmies, them being like the main antagonists of this particular film. Now I thought the film was pretty cool. It was like a surprise at the end. I'm glad they did that. I won't spoil it for people, you know, who haven't seen yet. I'm kind of glad they did that too. And it's leading right into like the third and what's supposed to be like the final film in the 28 years later, this new trilogy. I've also heard that Danny Boyle has been confirmed to return to direct the final and like third installment of this new trilogy of 28 years later. So that's kind of cool. But like I say, other than that, that's basically like you have a couple of the members of like the Jimmies, like this one chick, she kind of befriends, I forget what her name was, but she befriends like Spike, you know, she gets like close to him and so on. But I don't want to go into that too much. They kind of develop like a relationship. You can tell she kind of has something against the Jimmies, or kind of like a grudge against Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal. And like I said, he is really like an evil person. He even feels that he's like the son of like the devil or something like that too. That kind of like one of the plot points in the particular film. But as the film does go on, I must admit, it felt like at times, it felt like it really wasn't no need for this particular film, but I think they were just building it more and more to get to like the inevitable like climax of like the third upcoming film, which is supposed to be like the final film in this new trilogy. So I think what they did with that is pretty decent, but overall, I thought it was still like a pretty solid film. It feels like it is kind of on the level of like the previous one. Like I said, I think it kind of drags at times, but it's pretty good. Like I say, it's still like it's really the Jimmies who really stand out in the film as like the antagonists. You know, you can't really say like the zombies are there and stuff. They're running around and attacking people like you have Samson and stuff. But it's like it really feels like they really are the strong antagonists of the film. And even they be defeating the zombies. Like a zombie will come run up like in a Jimmy, one of the Jimmies will just kill them like it's nothing. And even the way they kill the zombie, it seems like very like evil, like even though the zombies themselves are already like gone and like monstrous, you know. But overall, I thought the performances in this particular film were pretty good too. If I'm not mistaken, I thought like the performance of like Ray Fiennes as Dr. Ian Kelson, even like some of the others, like the way Samuelson is acting, I thought all of them did pretty good, like in their roles, like Jack O'Connell, even like Alfred Williams. I thought all of them kind of were. They really had gave like if I'm not mistaken, like from what I'm noticing, good performances, you know. But overall, this feels very similar to 28 Years Later, so I think if you liked that particular film, you probably will enjoy this one even more. And again, it's just setting up the third film too as well. Like I said, it's kind of a surprise at the end. I'm kind of happy they did that. That was so awesome, you know. But I'm gonna give this a B minus. And this is like my review for 28 Years Later, The Bone Tip. I guess recommend it definitely for fans of like the, especially like the previous 28 Years Later film. You know, I would definitely recommend it for that crowd. You know, so I'm giving this a B minus. Please leave a comment and subscribe too as well.